The gold Rolex flashes under the courtroom lights as Nathan Harrington III tosses his car keys from one hand to the other. The sound, a metallic jingle from the Ferrari fob, cuts through the reverent quiet of Judge Caprio's courtroom like an act of defiance. The heir to the Harrington Investment Group empire stands before the bench, not with the customary deference of defendants, but with the casual confidence of someone who believes himself to be merely visiting a minor inconvenience on his way to more important matters. "Good morning, Mr. Harrington," Judge Coprio begins, his voice carrying the same respectful tone he offers every defendant, from street sweeper to society scion. "You're charged with excessive speeding, reckless endangerment, and fleeing the scene of an accident. These are serious charges. How do you respond?" Nathan runs a hand through his expertly styled hair and flashes a practiced smile, the same one that has graced charity gala photos and society pages since he was old enough to hold a champagne flute. "Look, there's obviously been a misunderstanding. I'm sure we can clear this up quickly. I've got a board meeting at 11. The casual dismissal hangs in the air. Judge Coprio studies the young man before him, Brooks Brothers suit, handmade Oxford shoes, the easy posture of someone who has never had to worry about consequences. Behind his measured expression, the judge's eyes take in every detail, including the absence of any sign of remorse. "Let's review the facts, Mr. Harrington. According to the police report, your vehicle was recorded traveling 96 miles per hour in a residential zone with a posted limit of 35. When Officer Rivera attempted to pull you over, you accelerated, eventually striking a parked vehicle before coming to a stop. You then attempted to leave the scene before being detained." Nathan waves his hand dismissively. "The officer is exaggerating. I barely tapped that old Honda. Besides, I've already arranged for it to be replaced. Problem solved." He pulls out his phone, glances at it, and continues without looking up. "As for the speed, my car is designed to handle it. German engineering, you know? Completely safe." Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change, but something in the air shifts, a subtle tightening of attention among the courtroom staff who know the judge well. "Mr. Harrington, please put your phone away while addressing this court." "Just one sec," Nathan responds, continuing to type with his thumbs. "I'm texting my assistant to push back my meeting. This is taking longer than I expected." The court clerk exchanges a glance with the bailiff. No one interrupts Judge Coprio. It simply isn't done. "Mr. Harrington," the judge repeats, his voice still measured but with a new edge of authority, "put your phone away now." Nathan sighs dramatically, pockets his phone, and looks up with thinly veiled impatience. "Fine, look, Judge, I get it. We all have jobs to do. Yours is to process these tickets. Mine is to run a multi-billion-dollar investment portfolio. Let's cut to the chase. What's the fine? I'll write a check right now and we can both get on with our day." Judge Coprio folds his hands on the bench. "This court is not a drive-through window, Mr. Harrington. These proceedings aren't a transaction where you can simply pay to make consequences disappear." "With all due respect," Nathan counters, the phrase carrying no respect at all, "that's exactly what courts like this are for. I made a mistake. There's a financial penalty. I pay it, life goes on. It's not complicated." A murmur ripples through the gallery, a mixture of disbelief and indignation. Judge Coprio silences it with a glance. "Officer Rivera," the judge calls, "please describe what you witnessed last Friday night." Officer Elena Rivera steps forward, her uniform pressed, her posture straight. "Yes, Your Honor. At approximately 10:15 p.m., I was patrolling on Elmwood Avenue when I observed a red Ferrari traveling at high speed. Radar confirmed 96 miles per hour in a 35 zone. I activated my lights and siren, but instead of pulling over, the vehicle accelerated. The pursuit continued for approximately half a mile until the Ferrari attempted to take a corner too quickly and struck a parked Honda Civic, causing significant damage. When I approached the vehicle, the driver, identified as Nathan Harrington III, was attempting to restart his car. His exact words were, "This is a waste of my time. Do you know who my father is?" Judge Coprio turns back to Nathan. "Is that an accurate account, Mr. Harrington?" Nathan shrugs, his expression suggesting mild boredom. "More or less, though I'd call it more of a fender bender than significant damage. And I was trying to move my car out of the street, not flee." "And did you ask Officer Rivera if she knew who your father was?" "Probably. It's a relevant question." Nathan's tone is matter of fact, as though he's explaining something obvious to a child. My family contributes more to this city's budget in a quarter than most people do in a lifetime. Context matters, doesn't it? The gallery stirs again, this time with more pronounced murmurs of disapproval. Subscribe if you believe everyone should face the same justice, regardless of their last name. Judge Coprio studies Nathan for a long moment. Mr. Harrington, do you believe your family name should exempt you from the same laws that apply to everyone else? I'm not saying I should be exempt, Nathan clarifies, though his tone suggests otherwise. I'm saying there should be perspective, proportionality. My time is literally valued at thousands of dollars per hour. Having me sit in a courtroom over a traffic incident is like... He searches for an analogy. It's like making an ER surgeon wait in line at the DMV. It's an inefficient allocation of resources. I see. Judge Coprio's voice remains calm. And the owner of the Honda you struck, how would you value their time? Nathan shrugs again. I have no idea. But as I said, I'm replacing their car. They're getting an upgrade, frankly. They should be thanking me. The owner is Ms. Gloria Vasquez, Judge Coprio reads from the report, a night shift nurse at Providence General. That Honda was her transportation to work, where she saves lives. It was also her only means to take her son to his chemotherapy appointments. For the first time, Nathan's confident facade shows a hairline crack. I didn't know that. No, you didn't, Judge Coprio agrees, because you didn't stop to find out. You didn't consider the impact of your actions on anyone else's life. You were concerned only with the inconvenience to your own schedule. I said I'll replace the car, Nathan repeats, a defensive edge creeping into his voice. What more do you want? Blood? Judge Coprio ignores the question. Ms. Vasquez, are you present in court today? A small woman in scrubs rises from the gallery. Dark circles under her eyes suggest she's come directly from her night shift. Yes, Your Honor. Would you like to address the court regarding how this incident has affected you? Gloria Vasquez approaches the stand, her movements betraying exhaustion. The car Mr. Harrington hit was paid off last year. It was old, yes, but reliable. I don't have time to car shop right now. My son Miguel has leukemia, and between his treatments and my shifts, every minute of my day is accounted for. For the past week, I've been taking 3 buses to get to work and borrowing my cousin's car for Miguel's hospital visits. Nathan shifts uncomfortably. As I said, I'll buy you a new... I'm not finished, Gloria interrupts, a quiet dignity in her voice that commands more respect than Nathan's expensive suit ever could. The money isn't the point. The point is that you treated my property, my life circumstances, as insignificant. You didn't stop to see if anyone was hurt. You tried to drive away, and now you stand here talking about how valuable your time is, while I've had to take unpaid leave to deal with this situation. The courtroom is completely silent now. All eyes move between Gloria's tired face and Nathan's increasingly uncomfortable expression. Thank you, Ms. Vasquez, Judge Coprio says gently. Please know this court recognizes the value of your time and appreciates your presence here today. As Gloria returns to her seat, Nathan clears his throat. I apologize for the inconvenience, Ms. Vasquez. My father's office will contact you about a replacement vehicle, top of the line. Judge Coprio's gaze returns to Nathan, and this time there's something different in his eyes. Not anger, but disappointment. Mr. Harrington, do you understand that there are consequences to actions beyond financial remedies? Of course, Nathan replies automatically, though his tone lacks conviction. I'm not convinced that you do, Judge Coprio counters. Throughout these proceedings, you've demonstrated a belief that money can and should shield you from accountability, that your time is inherently more valuable than others, that laws are flexible for those with means. I never said, your actions speak clearly enough. Judge Coprio shuffles some papers on his bench. I'm prepared to rule on this matter. For the charge of excessive speeding, I find you guilty. For reckless endangerment, guilty. For attempting to leave the scene of an accident, guilty. Nathan doesn't look concerned. His hand is already moving toward his inside jacket pocket, presumably where he keeps his checkbook. The standard fine for these violations would total $3,000. Judge Coprio continues. I'll write you a check right now, Nathan offers, producing a leather checkbook embossed with the Harrington Investment Group logo. However, Judge Coprio continues as if Nathan hadn't spoken, given the egregious nature of the violations, your complete lack of remorse, and your demonstrated belief that financial penalties hold no deterrent value for you, I am exercising my judicial discretion for enhanced sentencing. Nathan's pen pauses over his checkbook. I'm sorry? I sentence you to 30 days in the adult correctional institution. The checkbook slips from Nathan's suddenly numb fingers. Jail? You can't be serious. For a traffic violation. For 3 violations that endangered lives, demonstrated contempt for the law, and showed callous disregard for others, Judge Coprio corrects him. Additionally, your license will be suspended for 1 year, and you will complete 500 hours of community service with the Rhode Island Public Transportation Authority. Public transportation, Nathan repeats, his voice rising with disbelief. I don't even know how to take a bus. Then this will be educational, Judge Coprio responds evenly. You'll assist in maintaining bus shelters, cleaning transit vehicles, and helping elderly and disabled passengers navigate the system. The same system Ms. Vasquez now relies on because of your actions. Nathan's face has drained of color. This is insane. My father will... Your father isn't in my courtroom, Mr. Harrington. You are. And you will face the consequences of your actions like any other defendant. I'll appeal. I'll sue. This is judicial overreach. That is your right, Judge Coprio acknowledges calmly. But right now, you will be taken into custody to begin serving your sentence. As the bailiff approaches, Nathan's composure finally shatters completely. Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? My family could buy this entire courthouse. The courtroom falls silent at this outburst. Judge Coprio regards Nathan with the same steady gaze he's maintained throughout. Mr. Harrington, that statement perfectly illustrates why this sentence is necessary. You believe your wealth places you beyond accountability. It does not. Nathan is nearly shouting now, his face flushed with a rage born of thwarted privilege. You're nothing. A small-time judge in a small-time court. When my father hears about this... Your father, Judge Coprio interrupts with quiet authority, should be deeply concerned about the man his son has become. A man who values money above character, convenience above responsibility, and status above human decency. The bailiff gently but firmly takes Nathan's arm. For a moment it seems the young heir might physically resist, but something in Judge Coprio's unwavering gaze finally penetrates his fury. His shoulders slump in stunned defeat. Officer Wilson will escort you to processing, Judge Coprio informs him. I suggest you use your 30 days to reflect on the kind of person you want to be, not the kind of bank account you want to have. As Nathan is led away, Judge Coprio turns his attention back to Gloria Vasquez. Ms. Vasquez, this court will ensure that you receive proper compensation for your vehicle and lost wages. Additionally, I'm issuing an order that the Harrington family provide you with appropriate transportation for your son's medical appointments until your situation is resolved. Gloria nods gratefully, tears in her eyes. Thank you, Your Honor. The news of Nathan Harrington's sentence spreads through Providence like wildfire. By evening, it's the lead story on local stations, with national outlets picking it up by the following day. Billionaire's son jailed for traffic violations and contempt. William Harrington issues a statement threatening legal action, political pressure, and financial consequences for the city. But something unexpected happens. Public sentiment rallies overwhelmingly behind Judge Coprio. Thousands share stories of how the judge treated them with dignity, regardless of their status. Justice not privilege trends on social media. 3 state senators who initially criticized the sentence publicly changed their positions after constituent outcry. William Harrington's threats quietly disappear. 28 days later, a different Nathan Harrington sits in Judge Coprio's chambers for a scheduled review. His designer suit has been replaced by standard-issue clothing. His manicured nails are chipped. His carefully styled hair has grown out, revealing darker roots. Mr. Harrington, Judge Coprio begins, I've received reports about your conduct during detention. Would you like to know what they say? Nathan nods, eyes downcast. They say you've been a model inmate, that you've participated in all required programs without complaint, that you've been tutoring other inmates working toward their GEDs. Nathan looks up, surprised that the judge knows this. I also received this, Judge Coprio continues, holding up a handwritten letter. A request from Gloria Vasquez that I consider early release for your remaining 2 days. She says you called her from detention, offered a genuine apology, and arranged for her son's medical transportation through a hospital charity program, not your family's money. It seemed like the right thing to do, Nathan says quietly, his voice lacking its former arrogance. Judge Coprio studies him carefully. Mr. Harrington, do you understand now why I imposed this sentence? Nathan is silent for a long moment. I thought you were making an example of me because of my family name, he finally admits. But I was wrong. You sentenced me the way you would anyone who acted like I did. That's what real equality looks like. He meets the judge's eyes directly. I'd convinced myself I was special, exempt. Turns out, I'm just a guy who made bad choices. Judge Coprio nods, satisfied. I'm granting Ms. Vasquez's request. You'll be released today. Your community service with RIPTA begins next week. He extends his hand. Make it count, Mr. Harrington. Nathan takes the offered hand, his grip firm, but without the performative strength of their first encounter. I will, Your Honor, thank you. 6 months later, a local news crew films an unexpected sight. Nathan Harrington, heir to billions, helping an elderly woman with her grocery bags onto a Providence bus. He's in a RIPTA uniform, the name tag reading simply Nate. The reporter asks how the infamous billionaire's son is adapting to public service. Nathan smiles, a genuine expression, not the practiced smirk from the courtroom. Best thing that ever happened to me was Judge Coprio treating me like I wasn't special. Turns out, that's when I found a chance to actually be special, by being useful. In his chambers, Judge Coprio pins the news clipping next to countless others on his wall. Beneath it, he places a handwritten note received that morning. Some men inherit fortune. I inherited entitlement. Thank you for the wake-up call that saved me from myself. N.H. The true measure of justice isn't in its severity, but in its equality. Subscribe for more stories where privilege meets principle, and the only wealth that matters is character.